So OpenAI just dropped their latest model, GPT-5. And let me tell you, the early demos are pretty mind-blowing. In this explainer, we're going to break down what this new AI can really do. So what's all the hype about?
And, this one quote just says it all. After seeing GPT-5 whip up a complex CRM app from just a simple sentence, we're talking shiny effects, confetti animations, the whole deal. One developer just commented, "I went to 4 years of college for this." I mean, he's joking, mostly, but it just perfectly captures this huge leap in power we're about to witness.
Okay, so let's just dive right in with the pure wow factor. And I'm not talking about small coding tasks here. We're talking about creating whole, working applications basically from scratch in a single go, from just a couple lines of text. So you can literally just tell it, make a Spider-Man web-swinging 2D game. And it doesn't just give you a bunch of code. No, it actually builds a playable game with real physics and momentum. Or ask it for a CRM, and you get a full-on interactive Kanban board with drag and drop. I mean, think about it. Stuff that would have taken a team of developers weeks, maybe months, is now happening in minutes. This is way beyond just autocomplete.
And look, it's not just about building new stuff from scratch. The real game changer here is how it understands existing, complex code. People are saying it can jump into a new project, get up to speed in minutes, and sniff out those really deep, annoying bugs that drive developers crazy. It can even handle these huge, expensive code migrations. It's less like using a tool and more like having the super smart, super fast teammate right there with you.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, how is any of this even possible? What did they change under the hood to get this kind of leap? Well, the answer is a massive upgrade to the engine itself.
Well, OpenAI is calling this new thing their flagship model, but really, it's more like a completely new system. The best way to think about it is like a super smart router. You give it a problem, and it automatically figures out which of its specialized internal models is the best one for the job, whether that's deep research or complex coding. For you, the user, it just works. It's seamless. But on the back end, it's a way more efficient way to handle all that computing power.
And this all adds up to a huge leap in performance that's really all about interactivity. You know how GPT-4 could be really powerful, but also kind of slow? Well, GPT-5 is blazing fast. And that speed allows for real-time collaboration. It can absorb huge amounts of information like novel length and not lose the details. And here's the kicker. It can actually spot and fix its own mistakes. It can pull itself out of those frustrating rabbit holes that the older models would get stuck in.
And this isn't just a feeling. We can actually measure its skill. There's this thing called the SW bench. It's a super tough benchmark that tests how well an AI can solve real-world coding problems from places like GitHub. And guess what? GPT-5 is now #1. Yeah, the margin is pretty thin, but when you're at this level, at the absolute peak of performance, every tiny fraction of a percent is a massive breakthrough.
So, a tool this powerful, it's not just another update. It's not an incremental improvement. This is a genuine paradigm shift. It's fundamentally changing the rules of how we work and what skills are actually valuable now.
You've probably heard this phrase before. English is the new programming language. And it's been floating around for a bit, but with GPT-5, man, it feels more real than ever. For so long, we've had to be the ones to bend our brains to fit the machine's rigid rules. Now, finally, the machine is learning to understand us. Being able to clearly describe what you want is becoming the most important skill. What this really does is get rid of what some people are calling the human compilation step. You know the old way. You have an idea, then you have to painstakingly translate it into code. Then you debug it, and on and on. The new way is way more direct. You just describe the final outcome, the AI generates it, and the human's job is now to refine, to guide, to be the strategist.
And that completely changes what it even means to be smart at work. For ages, being valuable meant skill maxing, becoming the absolute best at one specific thing. But what happens when an AI can learn that skill pretty much instantly? Well, the new currency, the new premium, is adaptability. It's about how fast you can learn and reconfigure yourself when the entire game changes.
It's exactly like that. It's survival of the most adaptable for the 21st century. It's not about being the best leet code grinder anymore. Your value is now about how quickly you can grab these incredible new tools and use them to solve brand new problems.
So where does this all go? Where are we headed?
Because if everything we've just talked about sounds like a huge leap forward, the people actually building this stuff are saying we've barely even started. This isn't the end of the story. It's page 1.
Yeah. 0.1%. That's the number coming straight from the OpenAI team. That's how far they think we've come in this field compared to where we're going. So just take a second, think about the instant games, the code that fixes itself, and now try to wrap your head around the idea that all of that is just 1,000th of what's coming. It's just wild.
This all points to a future where what it means to be a developer is completely transformed. We're going from simple autocomplete, help with the next line of code, to being an orchestrator of entire teams of AI agents all working at once. Your job is no longer telling the computer how to do something, step by step. It's just telling it what you want to achieve. It's more like being a conductor, or maybe a general in a real-time strategy game, directing all these intelligent agents to build something amazing. It's finally making computers work for us, instead of us having to work for them. And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. For basically all of human history, the biggest thing standing between a great idea and reality was just how hard it was to build anything. The difficulty was the bottleneck. But as that bottleneck just vanishes, and the machine can build almost anything we can clearly describe, what's left for us? The only limit, pretty soon, might just be the size of our own imagination.